Everybody, this is Dan from Peterson Farms, Cerberus Live Scan. Welcome back to the next edition to Solutions for the Firearm Industry. This is episode number 8, which, if I read someplace, it's a milestone. Most podcasts don't get past 7. So if you join us for the first 7 or so, great. If you're just joining us, check out those previous ones. We talked through how to get your SOT, what that process looks like, how to enroll into e-forms appropriately, what the different type of submissions are, what the different type of transferees are, etc., and then how to actually do a Form 4 submittal. Today, we're going to talk about what do you do once you have that approved Form 4. A couple different things we can go about it, and we'll talk through those pieces. But if you like what you're seeing so far and you enjoy or find some value to it, hit that like and share button. Tell some other people about what's going on here and what we're doing, and share our message with us. With that, double tap on the like and share piece. So what's going to happen after you do your Form 4, you're going to get an email from ATF. It's going to be eforms.notifications at atf.gov. It's going to say application status change notification for your permit number, your application number, and it's going to say approved, and it's going to have a PDF attached to it. This email is going to go to both the FFL as well as the client. So whatever client email they have in there, they're going to get it too. And there's times where the client will call me before I've had a chance to see my email and say, hey, when can I come in and get my stamp? Great. But it goes to both of you. So keep that in mind of what's going on. But this is what the email looks like. If you have not whitelisted that email address, I strongly suggest that you do so that it doesn't go to spam. But that's going to be your only notification if you do an e-form. If you paper mail it in, then you'll get that physical stamp back in the mail in that half sheet size envelope with the cover letter on it, and then the actual physical stamp will be in that envelope. If you e-form it, it's going to be a digital image and the PDF, and you can see on here the PDF is attached on the bottom. And then what that looks like then, when you open up the Form 4, it's got the digital image of the stamp on it. I've blurred out my customer contact information, but this is one we actually got back yesterday for a Mercy Pluto. Really nice 22 can, by the way. If you haven't checked those out, take a look at them. 2 ounces, and per Pew Research, one of the quietest cans on the market. So this is what the Form 4 looks like with an approval and a stamp on it. And you basically have 2 choices going ahead here. Well, 3 technically, in case something went really wrong. But your first and probably primary choice is going to be do a 4473 and transfer it to the customer. And I'll show you what block you got to check there in a second. Your second choice is if the customer is in your state and they are a distance from your shop, you actually can mail it to them to their front door, similar to how a couple other companies are doing it. Silencer Central, Capital Armory, and I'll show you where that provision is. And if something went wrong or happened to your customer or they moved, you can actually withdraw the stamp inside of eForms and revoke it and put it back in your inventory. The second 2 are probably incredibly rare or more rare. The first one is what you're going to do primarily. So let's talk through that one first. So your customer is going to come in and you're going to fill out a 4473, much like you do every other time for every other firearm. Fill out section 1 with the firearm data, the quantity of firearms being transferred. I'll hand it to your customer, and then they would fill out section 2 with the demographics. They sign it, grab their driver's license ID, put that on there, and then you're going to skip to page 3 on the inside. If you're doing it on paper, if you're doing it digitally, you do it here. If you're doing it through a bound book software, there should be a mechanism to say that no NICS check is required because it's an NFA transaction. So you don't need to do a NICS unless your state requires it, but most of them don't. So you'd fill out section 1, customer fills out section 2, and then they sign it, driver's license expiration, etc. And then on box 28, you simply check this here that no NICS check is required because a background check was done during the NFA process. You sign it, date it, and then dispose of the item in your bound book. Many digital bound books have a mechanism to generate this 4473 with the clause for box 28 associated with it. So you can handle that, those pieces all in that transaction there. So that's the easy part. If you want to pursue something and expand a little bit of business, I'm going to point you to this federal code, 18 USC 922C. is the provision in the registry for a non-over-the-counter transaction transfer. This really is intended for like rural Alaska, rural Wyoming, where people to gun store is sometimes hours away, but it is actually in the federal registry and it is allowed for us to transfer. I encourage you to look at it and take a look and read it for yourself. But basically, what it states is in 18 USC 922C, you can conduct a non over the counter transaction. You fill out a 4473 with the firearm data, just like you'd always do. You have to put on the top of the 4473 that this is a non over the counter transaction per 18 USC 922C. You would mail that or email that to your customer. They would complete section 2 and sign it. You get a copy of the driver's license and then get that back, that 4473 back. And then there's a memo that has to be created, also signed by your customer. And we send that, a copy of both of those to the Clio, their Clio in their county or their city, or if you can do state patrol, etc. But their Clio, wait 7 days. If there is not a notice of not to proceed, then you can simply mail that can to their front door via the U.S. Post Office. That is exactly, or UPS, that or any other mailing pack system. That is exactly how Silencer Central and Capital Armory are doing their business. They have representations in every state that allow it, that allow silencers. And then what they're doing is they are mailing those cans, and they're following this exact process, 18 USC 922 Charlie. That is how they're doing and getting them to the customer's front door. So encourage you to look at it, interpret it for yourself, read it, see what you see. If you are a Cerberus user, this flow chart is inside of the downloader, and you can reference this on how that works. And I also have the federal code here, and there's also a ATF procedure 2013-2 in there that will also point to and clarify some pieces for that too as well. So that's the second one. The third one we can talk about, it would be rescinding or withdrawing the form. Once it is approved, you can withdraw that form if something happens. Say customer passed away, customer moved out of state, customer changed their mind, whatever. But you could go back into eForms and you can withdraw and cancel that form. It's going to take about a week or so to figure that and sort it out as to and get it back into inventory. But the primary one you're going to do is once you get this approved email, you're going to and have your form for, you're going to do box 28 on your 4473 and then simply dispose it in your bound book, whether it's physical bound book or digital bound book. Dispose that firearm out of your bound book. If excuse me, you also can do the non over the counter transaction or mail a can piece where you can mail it to your customer's front door. That is federal code 18 USC 922 Charlie. So take a look at that and review it on your terms and make sure you understand it. And then the third option, which is very rare, would be to withdraw the form and cancel it and rescind it and get a refund of it. So that's pretty much it for today's episode. If you like what we're doing, come check it out on um, share and like it on Spotify. We also are up on YouTube, and the videos there and a couple other platforms are pulling the RSS feed. So like, share, subscribe to that so we can expand the reach of what's going on. Our website is Peterson Farms USA. That's our retail as well as our FFL side of things. Our main product is Cerberus Live Scan. It's a fingerprinting solution that allows you to keep your data to process a new customer in the door to a submitted Form 4 in about 30 minutes. And then the biggest piece is that you own that data and opens up some other avenues for revenue. And our other product is Merlin. Merlin is a distribution warehouse search tool that aggregates all the data onto one piece of glass for you. And this is the current status of it. So if you're buying from Hicks, Chattanooga, Davison's, Gun Accessory, GSL, Iron Valley, Lipsy's, we are also distributing a couple brands of silencers, Mercy Firearms and Atlas, soon to be disavowed. And we also have access to American Defense. Orion is another wholesaler, RSR, Sport South, and Xanders. You can get all that data if you have accounts there on one screen as you search for stuff. And then 8 or 9 of those you can actually order from right now as well from inside the software. So again, thanks for joining us on this episode of In this episode of Solutions for the Firearm Industry, my name is Dan, Cerberus Live Scan, Peterson Farms. And again, check us out, like and share, and thank you for joining us.